Hey everybody, it's Tracy, and I'm jumping on here because who wants an update? There have been so many things over the past 48 hours, and I should get on here and update y'all and tell you how things are going. But today is Thursday, February 5th, and I'm on my way to work, so now's a good time. Let's just get into it. So 2 days ago, I last spoke with y'all on Monday, having my follicular ultrasound and those results. And then Tuesday, we had family plans of going out after I got home from work. And um, we are already in the gardening spirit and planning things and trying to, create a little homestead where we are. And that is, of course, in town, in a rural town in northeast Kansas. But we do live in town. However, we would like to homestead where we are, meaning to us, we would like to live more simply. This is a hobby. We're not looking to make profit off of it. We're not looking to, sustain our own living off of what we create. Just try to better things in our present situation and have things available. But mostly it's about living simply, being well-minded about our use of things, and just taking a better step towards a healthier and happier us. So when I say homestead, it just means living more simply, more conservatively. It doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to have cattle and chickens and solar energy and our own water source and things like that. I'm not saying that, but we are living more simply. So with that in mind, anyhow, we decided that we wanted to start composting, and we would love to use things that we have right there at home in order to do that. And we found a garden sweeper or yard sweeper on Facebook Marketplace, and it was only $30. That's crazy, because we've been looking at them online, and starting out they're like $180. And it wasn't too far away. It was like 45 minutes to get to this person's house. And so we decided that we were going to go as a family. We were going to go there, and then we were going to work our way into a larger city that we had previously lived in. That's like an hour out or so. And we were going to go by a mall that's there because it's reminiscent to CO especially. And he wanted to see what it looks like now, because of course we all know malls are really fading into the past, and it's so sad for us. We talk about it all the time. That was a family environment. It was so much more than just shopping your favorite brands and outlets and things like that, but it was really a family experience. And it's just reminiscent of not only his childhood, my childhood too, for sure. I'm sure Trent as well. So it's something that passed through the generations too. So we are all for bring back malls. And anyhow, we went by. Unfortunately, it was right at closing whenever we went by, because there's so limited resources in there. They close really early, like 7 p.m. And so we only got to see what stores were available on the outside of the mall and things. And then we went shopping for some necessities, and just a couple, and some non-necessities, I guess. I did go to Hobby Lobby and find some lampshades. I didn't know exactly that Hobby Lobby sold lampshades. It was kind of a spur of the moment thing where I was walking past and I saw their circular saying that they had lamps on sale, so I took a chance to go see if they had some. And I had thrifted a pair of lamps for the nursery/guest room, and I didn't have shades for them. So I was fortunate to find them there, though. So if you need lampshades, check out Hobby Lobby as well. They had the oat colored linen that I was looking for in a drum state style lampshade, and they were only $6.99 a piece for my 8.5-inch lampshade that I was needing. Um, Online, I can tell y'all, I was looking at Amazon for these, and my cheapest option was going to be $25 for something similar to this, and yet I still had to assemble them. Don't know if you've bought them off of there before, but I had a set of lamps that I bought at a garage sale that came from Amazon, brand new, and I got a heck of a deal on those. Those are bedroom lamps. But inside, you actually assemble your own lampshade, and they're like Velcro. So you have your hoops and everything, and you have to snap them together, and then it's Velcro. And I mean, they're very nice lampshades, but you do see a seam afterward. Y'all, I am on a tangent today. Okay, so we got some necessities, got those lampshades, so excited about that, paid like half price. Then we went to dinner at one of our favorites, which is Arby's, and y'all should know, like, we don't eat out too often. It is a treat for us to eat out. We do generally eat at home. So we had Arby's, and it was wonderful to have. We all love it. And then on our way home, it was coming to be about 9 o'clock, so it's already dark out. And my tire indicator came on my dash, and then we were kind of like, well, we'll check it whenever we get home. It's not affecting anything. CO was a bit worried, for sure, and everything was seeming fine. And then I started to feel a difference, and I actually told him, guys, I think we should look at it. And then we definitely were hearing it. So I was able to pull over. Very thankfully, I was on a 2-lane country highway with plenty of shoulder. Very beautiful highway, where I could get over, and I was on a more straightaway than a curve or anything like that. So very grateful for when it happened, because we were in the best conditions. It was cold out, but it wasn't freezing. We had, the ability to have heat on in the cab and everything. It wasn't a malfunction that caused us to go without power and stuff like that in the vehicle. So many things to be thankful for. But got out, found out that my front passenger tire was, completely flat. And in the make and model of vehicle that I drive, which is a Dodge Grand Caravan, they're not equipped with spare tires, and we've known this for a bit since owning it, but they come with an air pump in the back, and so I used the air pump, but it was not doing any good. The tire could not take air, and so I was hopeful that it would, because there was another small town with like a Casey's general store only 5 miles from us, and I was going to try to limp it there and see if I could get a can of Fix-A-Flat type thing, and I wasn't aware of the tire's condition other than it was flat. Anyhow, I couldn't limp it there. There would have been no way. I thought, if I could at least go every mile and then air it back up and get there, that we'd be doing better, but it wasn't going to happen. So we had to call for a tow truck, and we were very lucky. We kind of explained the situation and got a local tow. Explained too that there was 3 of us and we needed to get home. It really puts into perspective when things like this happen too, that we all of us, I believe, are such home buddies that we don't have local friendships. We have friends in a work sense, friends in a community sense, but not the type of friend that you call when you're stranded kind of friends. And Like, I don't have that relationship with anyone where I can call you locally and be like, hey, I'm stranded on the side of the road at 9 p.m. Will you come pick us up and take us home? And that's not saying anything against any one person. We feel very fortunate to have the relationships that we have. It's just we don't have that closeness with any particular person. We have family, but they're still an hour and 45 minutes away at the closest, probably. And so we have to figure things out, on our own. So thankfully we were able to talk to the tow and get things sorted. It was a heftier expense coming into it because of where we were and how far out we were from any town, plus driving all the way home. So $250 for a tow, and he had one spot available in his cab, so I had CO ride with him, and then Trent and I stayed buckled in the vehicle and rode on the flatbed in our vehicle. And side note, I've never felt taller in my entire life. I felt like the big dog compared to all the semis. And it was funny because we look at the bright side of things too. And Trent said he's never done that before. He's never ridden on the flatbed of a tow truck in the vehicle. So, cross something off of his list too of things that he's done. Other things. So we got it home, got it in the garage. And while we were sitting there waiting on the tow, I already made an appointment, bought tires, and had an installation service scheduled. So that took us to yesterday on Wednesday. We were able to borrow CO's car. He was gracious enough to lend it to us because I had to get to my doctor's appointment for IUI attempt number 3. And so he let us borrow the car, and we were successful in getting to that appointment and getting everything taken care of. We got home and had to take the tires off of the van and take them up to the shop to get them swapped out. The appointment was later in the day, and thankfully CO was willing to help us with that using his muscle and strength. Really saved us from having to do a lot of the brunt work. And anyhow, we were able to get the tires on there, 2 new tires, and they're all season. Last winter we had already replaced 2 tires, and we knew that we were going to have to replace 2 this year. But it is like us that we take it to extremes and get as much as we possibly can out of it. And we're kind of saying we're not doing that anymore. We knew that this was an issue. Honestly, there were signs that this tire was going to go out, and we're very fortunate that nobody got hurt in this instance, because there was a huge spot where there is no tread on that tire. And we had been feeling vibration in the steering wheel and everything for the past almost month, guys. And Trent, honestly, with all of his knowledge about things, which is a lot more than mine, he was even saying we need to get it to the shop. I want the alignment checked. I want struts looked at on the front end of it. And we were making plans to do that and everything. This is my daily driver. I drive it to and from work. But being honest, there was signs. And I actually said to Trent, because the only time I experienced this before was in a previous vehicle that I owned. And I said, it almost to me feels like there's a bulge in the tire, because that's what had happened there. But that was the only experience that I had to base anything off of. So, come to find out, it was a tire issue. After we've changed the tires, put the new tires on here, I'm driving it this morning. I did drive it around town last night just to see how it performed and everything. And, but driving it today, there's no more shimmy in the steering wheel. So I do think that it was just that tire. I don't think that there's further issue that we have going on here. So that was our 48 hours. I'm going to jump off of here, but I will tell you soon. I'll record another video to tell you about how my IUI experience number 3 went, because it has been very different this go round. So I will talk to you all soon. Bye.